Hello. Good evening, Plymouth. How are you out there? I'd like to start off tonight with a few things on our old favorite TV show, cartoon, Scooby-Doo. For instance, the part when Shaggy and Scooby, they run out of the haunted house. Now, if you took the speed and the size of Scooby, okay, his legs, the size of dog that he is, Shaggy's gait, okay, and the time that they warm up, they almost like warm up like Fred Flintstone, and then they zoom out of that haunted house, okay? Now, if you took the time that they actually show that on camera, on the cartoon, as it's drawn, that haunted house would have to be 5 football fields long, which is just mind-blowing, okay? Now, if you check Google Maps and check the whole entire Earth, there is not a property habited or inhabited of that size. So there is no way that haunted house could exist in our universe, in our world. And that's just one of the things, okay? Now, if you take the time when Shaggy will make himself a sandwich, okay? Now, I'm giving you that there's refrigeration in these haunted houses, okay? That someone went out and shopped for this stuff. Okay? But by the way it's drawn, okay, and the sandwich he is able to create, in one of the instances, that would be a 26-foot-long hero with over, now taken out for condiments and lettuce, $2,000 worth of cold cuts in that one sandwich, which is just mind-boggling, okay? Now, if you take the amount of times Scooby or just Shaggy eats a cold cut sandwich, because they're drawn like that. Scientifically, it's a sub, okay? Now, if you took that and you went the whole entire series, the whole run of the show, okay, and added up all those cold cuts, the price of those cold cuts by 1970s standards would be $2.3 million worth of cold cuts. Over the run of the whole cartoon, okay? And now if you take the average person's, consumes about $30,000 or a little over $30,000 in cold cuts in their lifetime. Now, how did I come up with that number? Okay. So say you ate a $5 footlong every day of your life, okay? Just one $5 footlong, okay? Now, say that there is $1 worth of meat in that sandwich. And you did that for 365 days. For 3 years, you're looking over $1,000. For 10 years, that's about, times that by 10, that would be 30 years, that would be $10,000. And if you live for 90 years, that would be just over $30,000 in subs. So there's no way Shaggy and Scooby could consume that much cold cuts. I rest my case. Now, if you were to take the amount of cold cuts and Scooby snacks mentioned in the show, and he was to eat that, and Shaggy too, and just Shaggy was to feed Scooby that amount of cold cuts, you'd be looking at a dog over 10 feet long and over 500 pounds. Now, that, by the way it's drawn and by the instances of how many times they mention Scooby snacks on the whole run of the series, it would be over a 502-pound dog. Now, you take that dog, you put him in the mystery machine, okay? And by 1970 standards, and they have to drive him around. Every instance, the mystery machine is shown on screen, driving that dog, which now will put at 500 pounds, conservatively, okay? That would cost them, by 1970s prices, $4 million in gas. There is no way they could go on these adventures. And, by the way, who is the real crooks here? Scooby and Shaggy eating all those cold cuts. Sure, they find somebody's getting away with murder, they catch them, but they're getting away with murder in all those cold cuts. Exactly. And another part I'd like to talk about is, Fred, Daphne, Thelma, and Shaggy. And in 1970s, if they were to wear those clothes, buy them new, okay, their parents furnished them, and they were to wear those clothes, their parents to conservatively say that the Fred, they wear each outfit 10 times during the run of the whole show. Say conservatively they wear the same outfit 10 times. So it's a different outfit every 10 times. That's how you have to do the math. Each parent in 1970s would have to make $1 million a year to buy the clothes that they're wearing in the cartoon for the run of the cartoon, to just furnish their clothing, which is mind-boggling because no one in the 70s was making that kind of money. And it would have to be both parents, okay? I'm just dividing it there. So it would be Fred's parents, Daphne's parents, and so on. And now we're not even talking about the jewelry aspect that goes into that, okay? Just the clothing. And for them to wear, at the age Fred and Shaggy were, and Daphne and Thelma, for them the way they were drawn, the girls would have had to have implants and the guys would have had to have hair transplants. For the way that the show ran, and a typical male and female of those ages, they would have had to have work done. So when you look at the show now, it's like actually they were kind of the bad guys, and actually the crooks were just actually small time. And that was just some thoughts on Scooby-Doo I'd like to share with you. Thanks.
Welcome to Card Zone. Hello, I'm your host, Greg Simoneau. Here's for Card Zone. And today we have an autographed baseball. This is the first item up. Let me just add this little disclaimer. You're not allowed to sell anything on public access, so this is just a skit. So none of this stuff is really for sale. Just kidding. It's a skit, so don't worry about it. All right, this is a autographed baseball. Okay, we'll set it up there. That's our first item. That's a Lou Merlone autographed baseball. It's very hot right now because it's been in my car for a couple hours. That's why it's very hot right now. Very hot. I went to the card show, and Lou was signing with a few other guests, everyone in the sports industry. And I went up and had to get a ticket to get this ball autographed. And I went up to the lady and I said, "Oh, can I get one for Lou?" And she was like, "Who?" And I was like, "Oh, they're probably sold out. That's why she can't believe I'm asking for this, right?" And I said, "No, Lou Merlone right here." So then she sold me the ticket, and I went into this big ballroom where the athletes were signing. And there was this line about over 100 people in line. So I walked up and I got in the back of the end of the line, and I was like, "Oh, is this the line for Lou Merlone?" And they were like, "Oh no, that's the line for Lou Merlone." And it was just a clear runway all the way up, and just Lou and his handlers right at the end of it. And I was only 5 minutes late. And the line had already been gone. And I was like, yes. So I went up there, and he was talking to his, for lack of a better term, handlers. And I finally was like, "Okay, Mr. Merlone, I didn't say, okay, I didn't interrupt. I'm not rude. I'm not one of those rude guys." And he put the signature on there, and he said, "Would you like black or blue ink?" And I was like, "That's such a choice, And he signed it right there. And then that was the whole interaction. Usually, if you want, you can go around, get a picture with them and stuff like that, but that was it. Then I drove home. But it's very hot right now. Lou Merlone autographed baseball. And it has the ticket, so you don't know I'm not pulling any scams on you. Right here. Holiday Inn, Mansfield, 2020. That's before COVID. This is a pre-COVID ball right here. There's no COVID on that ball. So that was our first item. And now, in the card zone, we usually just do baseball cards, right? But I have special cards tonight. These are greeting cards. So I'm in the midst of a move, and I found a box that said Greg's Cards on it. I thought I would be able to grab some of my sports cards to talk to you about tonight. Not so the case, but here we go. This first one is on your baby's christening day. I can't believe this is still around. It's a Greg Simoneau christening baby card, one of a kind. Here you have it. you have the matching envelope right here with the date stamped, so you know it's of its authenticity, right here, Greg Simoneau, with a nice inscription from his aunt and uncle. This is card from the 70s, in the 76 era. Now you know when Greg Simoneau was born. Here is his rookie card, a card from his christening. This is his rookie card. The envelope accompanies it. It has the 1776, 1976 bicentennial stamp right on it. That goes with it. That is the second item we have here for you tonight. The third item here, these look like all christening cards. We'll do one more here. This one is a prayer for baby's christening. This is a Greg Simoneau baby christening prayer card. Very rare. As you can see, in near mint to mint condition. Also from his aunts and uncles. Signed, all original signatures on the inside. One of a kind item. It's a Greg Simoneau prayer card for his christening. Now, you can't get any earlier than this. This is it for Greg Simoneau cards. If you're looking to get in on the Greg Simoneau collection, this is something you want. This is really high end. This is right in the beginning of the Greg Simoneau era for you right there. This was also in that bunch. We're working out of a lot. It's an estate sale. It was an estate lot. This is Greg Simoneau's personal items. This is from the same christening lot, same genre, same era. And look at all this penmanship on the inside here. That has got to be worth a fortune. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a one-of-a-kind penmanship card. I'm calling this Three Ducks. This is the Greg Simoneau, early Greg Simoneau Three Duck card. Let's see. Let's go a little deeper in here. Let's get into this one here. What do we have here? What is this one? Oh. It has a scratch ticket in here. An officially Greg Simoneau scratch ticket inside the card. Has to have been a loser, I would imagine. The date on this is 2016, not very old. Just a happy birthday card from my mother, signed by my mother with an inscription, all inscribed on the inside, as you can see. A hardware store motif on the outside. This is late era Greg Simoneau. This is actually would be his 40th birthday card. So you can get the whole collection. You can get the early stuff. You can get the late stuff, all highly collectible right here. This is the Greg Simoneau 40th birthday card. She doesn't make mention of the 40th birthday. She's saying it's number 44. She might have been just confused on that. But we're going to call that the 40th birthday card right there, here in the card zone. Did I mention we're in the card zone? All right, let's see. We got a lot more of the early stuff here. This is a lot of the christening stuff. Ooh, I lied. It's not one of a kind. We have another of the prayer cards. Just became available. A second baby's prayer card. They must have shopped at the same shop back in the 70s. We have two available, two of the baby christenings. You can get the whole set. You can get both of these here from the card zone. Two of them, two different aunts, two different sides of the family. Both available, very collectible. And this one is from a different aunt and uncle. And this one has the inscription, very funny, health 6-time suit slippers. I don't know what that means. It's a 70s term, obviously. I don't know what that means. But I lied. That now you can have both. You can collect the set. They're two of a kind now. Still looking. There's a lot of baptism cards we've gotten through here. This is an interesting one. Seems to be like a hospital bill. This is a Greg Simoneau official bill from the hospital paying for his delivery. And here in the card zone, you're not going to find another card like this. If you want to get in on the Greg Simoneau collection, this is highly collectible. This is from where he was born. Okay, obviously here, if we look in the description here, to have a baby boy back in the 70s, it was $403.06. You know, sorry for all the math tonight. It's very interesting to me. But to have a baby boy, you just go to the hospital and pay $403. That was the going rate back then. So we get the baby purchase, the receipt for the baby, the Greg Simoneau purchase. This is how the parents got Greg Simoneau here in the card zone. We're still in the card zone. These are more like receipts than cards. I don't know why these were kept, but this is from the estate of Greg Simoneau. Very rare, highly collectible. We'll do one more. This is probably all we have time for tonight. If you weren't able to get on some of these. Oh. If you weren't able to, oh shit. If you weren't able to get in on the Greg Simoneau collection, this was just a one-night chance. Okay, this is a late edition Greg Simoneau birthday card. Very rare. This one says another birthday, you look like $1 million. And that's even adjusted for inflation. So it's very timely, goes with tonight's theme of the show. Did you get it? Jonah Hill. Signed by Jonah Hill. So this is probably not the real Jonah Hill. Probably be my friend Scott playing a joke on me. But that was the last item. Hurry up now. There's only seconds left of this whole lot. Call your operators. You can get in on this great deal. Only here on the Card Zone. Oh, hello there. Welcome to the coffee shop, where we talk shop about writing comedy. Oh, this has been a great episode tonight. And one thing I'd like to mention when you're thinking about writing your own comedy and performing it is to know your audience. Just take that into consideration a little bit. I'd just like to share this one little story I had. I asked this bar if they would mind if I would do like a few minutes of comedy, which is just like, I don't recommend you doing that, but I was living in a smaller town than Plymouth, so it was a seafood restaurant, anyways. And I said, can I do some of my jokes? I was just starting out. I wanted to do them a couple times in front of people. You know, of course, a bar is stand-up comedy gold, right? So I get up there, I'm doing a few jokes. It's not really working out. It's probably kind of late for these people. And I do this joke. I can tell the condition of I can tell a person's occupation by the condition of their money, but only if both are wicked dirty like a mechanic. And this guy at the end of the bar, he goes, hey, I'm a mechanic. And I'm like, oh, of course you are, but it wasn't funny. That was awkward. So maybe don't do mechanic jokes, dirty mechanic jokes when there's, dirty mechanics around. That's just a tip from the coffee shop. Also, you got to get out there. You got to do your comedy, and maybe that's not the way it's done anymore because you can do it on many of the interwebs. You have your very multimedia platforms you can do it on. But if you're going to go out and pound pavement, you're going to want to do it over and over, get a repetition, and get your sets solid, so then you can go on America's Got Talent and stuff like that. But just get it out there, try it out. If you can only go down to the barbershop and do a few jokes, why not? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to be in the chair getting my hair cut and hear you do some jokes. So that's from the coffee shop. Another item in the coffee shop I want to mention is there's acting classes you can take. There's comedy writing classes, stand-up comedy classes you can take. You can meet people at these classes, and you can build a network of friends that can help you on your journey to becoming a comedian. And it's really that networking that you'll need if you want to eventually make it as like a professional comic, working comic in today's comedy landscape. So you're going to want to have that network of friends, and hopefully you don't have to use a net to catch them, to get them to do some work. But stupid, but you have to rely on some friends to get you going, get you motivated, and give each other feedback on your show and your sets. So if that's one little bit of advice we can give you from the coffee shop today, that would be it. Networking, know your audience, dirty mechanics. And that's all from the coffee shop. Oh, we still have a minute on the coffee shop. What do you want for coffee? Just kidding. That's all from the coffee shop. Thanks a lot.
Hey, Plymouth, I'm back. The 7 o'clock is the same as the 9 o'clock show. Just kidding. When I was younger, I had Star Wars action figures, of course. We all did. And we all foolishly opened them, too. Guilty. It's fine. I still pick up a couple now and then. But when I was a kid, I was young. I wasn't 25 years old back then, you know. That was more like Phantom Menace time. And so I wasn't able to go see Star Wars in the theaters back then as a little kid, but I did see Phantom Menace as many times as I can. And I don't like to admit that, but shout out to Sebulba. When I first got the figures, I was like, okay, you get the boring brown-haired one, the boring blonde-haired one, and the boring brunette. So at least, if not anything, I can play Dukes of Hazzard with these. And then you get the cool ones. You get Chewbacca and Darth Vader. And I would always make Chewbacca fight Darth Vader, which seems kind of silly after I saw the first movie. They never really interact on screen, and I was like a little disappointed because I had been playing the wrong way the whole time. And I was like, are they secretly friends? Because they do pass in the corridors of the Death Star a little bit. So it makes me wonder about that, and I'm like, why doesn't Chewbacca ever get his own series? Disney makes everybody have a series now. You get fake Boba Fett, silver Boba Fett, fat Boba Fett, girl Boba Fett. Oh, and thank you for finding the original actor who played Jango Fett to play this guy now. Oh, thanks, because he's so fat and gross. But can he leave the helmet on for more than 5 seconds? Literally, he is trick-or-treating in one episode with the helmet. Like this. He's literally going up to people, trick-or-treating with the helmet off, just rubbing it in our faces. Boba Fett doesn't do that. Just by the way. So then we have Baby Yoda, everybody's favorite Baby Yoda. So now that, if you had the total up, we have Baby Yoda, Old Yoda, Girl Yoda, Yaddle, with the one with lipstick. I still have to find out what's up with her. Call me Yaddle. Then we have Obi-Wan, the Obi-Wan series. And that was 6 episodes, 5 of which he just goes back and forth to work. And then in the 6th episode, he fights Darth Vader. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, that's what happens. And then I heard there's a new series coming out called Andor. And I was like, oh, they mean Endor. It's going to be a whole series. It's going to have Ewoks and the bike speeders and the biker scouts. And then I looked up and they're like, no, it's Andor. And I'm like, oh, who's that? That guy from Rogue One. If anyone remembers Rogue One, the guy from Rogue One, Diago something. And I was like, oh, he gets his own series? I'm like, I have to look him up. And like I Google searched him, and then I recognized him. Yeah, I said, okay, he's kind of handsome. I guess he gets a series. And I'm still waiting for that Chewbacca series. So if Disney would listen to me, this is how it would go. 6 episodes of Chewbacca. Okay? And obviously, the first 5 episodes is just Chewbacca going back and forth to work at the library. He checks out books. That's it. That's all. And then in the 6th episode, he fights Darth Vader, finally. He meets Darth Vader in a little shady bar in one of those planets, whatever one you want to put him on. Darth Vader is like haggling some Jedi. Hey. And Chewbacca stands up like, no, that's not happening in this bar. Darth Vader turns to Chewbacca. So you think you know the ways of the Force, Wookiee? And before he can get Wookiee out, Chewbacca punches him right in the face, smashes his mask, rips off his arms and limbs, leaves him there, and walks away. Then the Emperor can sense this. So the Emperor's back on the Death Star, and he's like, oh no, Lord Vader's in trouble. And him and his dignitaries are all like, ah! And he's like, no, really, Lord Vader's in trouble. Leave us. He gets to the bar. He finds Lord Vader, Darth Vader, in a booth, legs and arms ripped off, just his torso. Maybe the head's a little smashed up. And he's like, Lord Vader, are you all right? And it just moans, oh. And out of the bathroom, zipping up, comes out Lando and says, problems with your droid? And the Emperor goes, no problems whatsoever. Just like I drew it up in my action figures, just how I had it. And it's true that a Wookiee will rip your arms and legs off. And those are my all thoughts on that. Thank you.